The college football Labor Day holiday weekend continues, and so does the college football kickoff show. Hello once again, Brandon Rutherman, about to give you the final picks for this week one of the college football season. A lot of great games yesterday, a lot of great individual performances. Too many to mention. And yet all we're concerning ourselves with is what lies ahead as opposed to what has now been left behind. Very well aware of the fact that Oregon only won by a 24-14 score over Idaho. And I'm well aware of the fact that their next opponent, Boise State, is going into Autzen Stadium fresh off of a high-scoring affair against Georgia Southern, in which running back Ashton Jeanty carried the ball well over 200 yards on the ground on nearly 30 carries. Damn right I'm concerned. But let me reiterate this one important thing that all football fans had better come to grips with, because it's the same deal every year. This is my PSA, all right? It's only one game. For the love of God, people, it's only one freaking game. Every year it's the same deal. People overreact, people get bent out of shape, and all it does is create friction, hatred, all of that stuff. Too much negativity. If your teams lose, so be it. They lost. But it's not in your control. Okay? It's in the hands of the coaches and the players of the teams you support. If you can't adhere to that, if you don't fall in line with that thinking, then you're not the fan you claim to be. I don't care how hardcore you claim to be. Every year it's the same deal. Take a chill pill. For the love of God, take a chill pill. Things will eventually sort themselves out. It's a long season, and you better get used to the fact that not everything is going to go according to plan. Okay? Much like the shows that I do. Yes, I'm going to drop lanyards. Yes, I'm going to have keychains getting dislodged from those lanyards. That was a lot of fun. Laugh through the whole process, will you please? Really, it would do you some good. There were some games where the perfect storms came. You know, Penn State beat West Virginia. But at the same time, Notre Dame did what I always expect Notre Dame to do, and that's win games that they're supposed to win. Like Texas A&M, going down there. And while it was tough sledding for them, they, like a lot of other teams across this college football landscape, they all have work to do. They got some problems to fix. It can't be solved overnight, so you all had better take all of this info into consideration. Whether it's a team you like or dislike, whether it's a team that I like or dislike. It's a long season. The story is being written as we speak. There will be hairpin curves. There will be pitfalls, rumble strips, potholes, all of it. If you're looking for a smooth paved road to a national championship, that's like asking for the moon and the stars. You're not having it. You're not having it. So now that I got that little PSA out of the way, let's go ahead and make these picks right now for tonight and tomorrow. LSU and USC are battling in Vegas. I'm not crazy about the coaches, if you take them out of the equation, I might actually watch it for a full 60. But I'm choosing not to. Not tonight. I am, however, going to take LSU to win because I think Lincoln Riley is not the coach he thinks he is. And, well, if I may take a page out of Brian Kelly's former employer, the University of Southern California stands for the University of Spoiled Children. There's my Lou Holtz impression for you guys. Thank you. LSU over USC tonight. Now, Florida State tomorrow night hosting Boston College. When the schedule came out and I saw that the two teams were playing Labor Day night, I'm thinking, what are you guys doing putting Florida State on against Boston College? And then I got to thinking, Boston College won their bowl game last year. I slighted them big time before they got good. And it's good to see that now, especially considering that they got Bill O'Brien, I believe, coaching up there right now, the former OC of the New England Patriots, former head coach of the Houston Texans, and I'm pretty sure he had one other notable job that I will not pick my brain at to try and figure out, but he's running the show up there at BC, which makes the game against Florida State all the more interesting, especially considering Florida State coming off of their loss to Georgia Tech in Dublin last week. And with Georgia Tech winning last night against Georgia State, now a lot of teams, or rather a lot of people for that matter, well, teams too, teams that have to go up against them later this year, they are now in attention for this Georgia Tech team. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to Georgia Tech in their next game. For now, we're focusing on BC and Florida State. If Florida State loses tomorrow night, you think Clemson's got problems? Florida State might have some too. And I can tell you just where to start. Your quarterback was never a fan, and I've already talked about it. It's been well documented. Yeah, ukulele. It starts with him. I would rather start your QB2 than that dude. But here's the thing. I would just like for Florida State to find it within themselves. And Mike Norvell, I think, will do his due diligence here. He will find it within himself to will the best out of his players tomorrow night. The taste has been knocked out of their mouths. It's time to refocus and re-energize. Because given who all has lost already in the ACC, Virginia Tech losing to Vanderbilt. I talked about Diego Pavia, did I not? Yeah, I took Virginia Tech. What of it? You see? I knew of the Pavia name, but I'm willing to bet that the good many of you who are, especially those who are watching this for the first time, didn't. But the Pavia name is a name that people are going to get to know in the SEC a little bit. Vanderbilt might actually, it's tough to say at this point, but he might win some games for the Commodores. He just took a big step beating Virginia Tech. But anyway, Virginia Tech, they lost. Stanford, yes, they're in the ACC too. They lost. Trying to do this without cheating. I'm sure there's at least two other teams who lost in their games. Now I'm going to have to look through the display of helmets just to see if anything noteworthy jumps out at me, and I can't. I can't figure it out. I would rather focus on who won than lost, but you get the idea. The ACC is in a dire need of a shakeup, and it's not just, Dabo Sweeney paying attention to what the fans and the critics are saying and do a portal pickpocket. You scored only 3 points against Georgia. You got problems. A lot bigger than the fact that you lost to Georgia, which by and large everybody expected. But anyway, this is a must-win for Florida State, and I suppose a must-win for Boston College too. And it's definitely something that I think Florida State needs more so than Boston College. So I am going to put my faith in the Seminoles one more time to end the speculation that took several minutes to get to this point. And oh, the irony that I'm picking LSU and Florida State, who played the last 2 Labor Day weekends the last 2 years against each other. Note to the NCAA, can you please put a different game with different teams together? 3 years now. 3. 1, 2, 3. Do they have anything better to do on Labor Day? Hello? Anyway, that's going to do it for this edition of the College Football Kickoff Show. My apologies if I offended anybody, but you guys have to, I read the posts, and it's got nothing to do with anything that I'm involved with. I have my own Facebook page, and I do all the talking on it. I run a very clean Facebook page. That much is a given. I'm here as an entertainer, more or less. All they can do is, sit back and take in whatever I have to say, pick, play, whatever. But I read the outside chatter from other places, other locations. Some of it is absolutely ridiculous. And it just, there's no place for it. If you're a knowledgeable football fan like I am, you know it's a long season. And you have to take it with the right grain of salt. If you don't, you're not a fan. You're just hating on a sport that you otherwise love because your team's not doing well and there's no hope for you in the college football playoff. It's a long year. There's a lot of twists and turns that are going to be coming in the next couple of months. And there's nothing in it that says that you have any control over all of it anyway. So with that being said, sit back, relax, enjoy the freaking ride, okay? Now, the next time you will hear from me in the College Football Kickoff Show, first off, I'll unveil it on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. It's going to be a relatively busy week as we prepare for our first in-season visit to Cameron Stadium this coming Saturday. I cannot wait for it. It's the home opener for the Washington and Jefferson College Presidents as they will host St. Vincent College. And we'll be doing our live broadcast from Cameron only on Facebook. Only on Facebook. My apologies if you don't I'm not good at advertising here. This is what I didn't sign on for, was for advertising, making campaign pitches, doing promos. Well, I am the DIY guy of the operation, so I may as well try my best to tell you that Saturday, only on Facebook, live from Cameron. All of the picks, with the exceptions of the lanyard selections / big ones selections, will be done, I believe, Thursday. It's either going to be Thursday or Friday. There are Friday games, none on Thursday, because it's the NFL season opener with the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas Swifty Chefs. Sorry. And believe me, I am not watching anything involving the Kansas City Chiefs. No more. The NFL, I can do without for a Thursday night. So I will gladly go to bed that night, unless I have a change of heart and get the picks in. Once we get to Friday, though, then we'll get all the picks out of the way and leave the lanyard selections and the big ones for when we show up to Cameron. I can tell you right now, Texas and Michigan will be one of the big ones that I'll be picking from Cameron. And I'll say this too, I'm happy I'm not going to be watching that game. I got some important business to do at Cameron, and it ain't just doing the show. We got to cheer on the presidents all season long from Cameron. So I only wanted to do a few minutes and just make the 2 game day picks, but for whatever reason, I got off the soapbox a little bit just to try to, shed some light on the overreaction nonsense. It's not acceptable. It's unhealthy. All storms pass through, folks. Believe it. We will live to fight another day. Or in this case, in the world of college football, you live to play another week. And then the week after that, and then the week after that, and the week after that. It's a long season. And for me personally, I'm doing this for 6 months. So there's going to be some pride that I'll have to swallow along the way. Probably some lanyards that I'll have to wear that I don't want to wear. And probably, I'm wearing Arizona, which you're probably wondering what brought that on. Well, first off, they played a 4-hour plus game last night against New Mexico, and a combined 100 points got scored. Arizona won 61-39 over the very same New Mexico team that got upset by Montana State last week. Only difference is, Arizona is a likable team. They got a great quarterback in Noah Fafita, and that wide receiver they got caught over 200 yards in receptions that I still can't pronounce his name. Tetero McMillan. I talked about him. Got the best hands of anybody in the college game for wide receivers. Although I am quick to remind myself, there was a kid out of Robert Morris College who plays in the secondary that may have executed the early season play of the year. A one-handed steal in midair and log rolled his way to the ground. If you haven't seen it, check it out on YouTube. Robert Morris, Utah State, in a game that I didn't pick, mainly because we don't have a Robert Morris helmet yet. But check it out. Believe me, you will not be disappointed. Okay, my 20 minutes of talk time is up. Have yourselves a great Labor Day holiday, and we'll see you later on this week. For now, for the College Football Kickoff Show, Brandon Rutherman signing off. Good night.